Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtaki Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnana Anjana Shalakaya Takshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 4 Chapter 20 Verse 9 Yaswadharmena Mam Nityam Nirashi Shraddhayanvitaha Bhajate Shanakaistasya Manorajan Prasidati. Supreme Person of Godhead Lord Vishnu continued, my dear King Prthu, when one situated in his occupational duty engages in my loving service without motive for material gain, he gradually becomes very satisfied within. This verse is also confirmed by the Vishnu Purana. Occupational duties are known as Varnashrama Dharma and apply to the four divisions of material and spiritual life. If one works according to the Varnashrama Dharma system, does not desire fruitive results, he gets satisfaction gradually. So this is a Karma Yoga, or even Nishkama Karma. Actually, this is Nishkama Karma. Does not desire fruitive results, he gets satisfaction gradually. Discharging one's occupational duty as a means of rendering devotional service unto the Supreme Person of Godhead, as a means of rendering, is the ultimate goal of life. This is the process of Karma Yoga. So this is Nishkama Karma, when one does work according to Varnashrama. Now, please note there is no recommendation to work outside Varnashrama Dharma, meaning mm, self, engaging in occupations which are not as per our Varna is sinful. That Krishna has already told in Bhagavad Gita. Mm. Um, so, if one works according to Varnashrama Dharma but does not desire results, that is Nishkama Karma. When one uses occupational duty to render devotional service, this is Karma Yoga. In other words, we should act only for the satisfaction and service of the Lord. Otherwise, we'll be entangled by resultant actions. Now, please understand, this is a very low standard. Right? Karma Yoga is a very low standard. Because eventually, to actually, Krishna is not pleased. Krishna is not Sri Krishna Karshini. Of course, okay, it's better than Nishkama Karma Yoga. Nishkama Karma. It is better than Sakama Karma. It is better than Vikarma. So the lowest platform is Vikarma, sinful activities. Then there is Karma, where there is Sakama Karma, doing for fruitive results. Then there is Nishkama Karma, without any expectation. Then there is Karma Yoga. But ultimately, yoga, so this is called Mishra Bhakti or uh, Bhakti Mishra Karma. Bhakti Mishra Karma. So this is also called Guni Bhuta Bhakti. Bhakti Mishra Karma, meaning karma is predominant and there is some Mishra of Bhakti. And then gradually one has to raise this occupational tendency to come to Karma Mishra Bhakti. Meaning karma, little Mishra of karma is there. Which means bhakti is increasing. So just to explain. So first there is only karma and for fruitive results for our own self. Then there is karma, but no expectation of results. Then there is little bit bhakti. So karma is also happening, then there's little bit bhakti, which is what most of people who are working, we do. This is called bhakti mishra karma. So karma is predominant, but there is a mishra of bhakti. So there is little bit of bhakti and there's a lot of karma. Then we have to make progress. The next stage, so like for example, if you know of chemistry, molecules, so right? So first is K3, meaning 3 molecules of karma. And then next stage is BK2, meaning 1 molecule of bhakti and 2 molecules of karma, meaning still karma is predominant. Next stage is B2K, meaning 2 molecules of bhakti, meaning bhakti increases. And then there's 1 molecule of karma, meaning little bit reduction in karma. Eventually, we have to come to B3 K0, meaning no karma, only bhakti, which is called Kevala Bhakti or Shuddha Bhakti. Mm, mm. So this is the whole goal. So we should not be satisfied with just this Bhakti Mishra Karma. That we are doing karma and we are doing bhakti along with that. We should not be satisfied with that. And this is also recommended only in Grihastha ashram. And that is the reason also there are these ashramas. Mm. So even in Grihastha ashram, 25 to 50 years, initial years is can be bhakti mishra karma. Where there is lot of karma, there is little bhakti. But as we make progress meaning not material progress, as we progress in age, as we move closer to maybe 45, 50, etc. Karma should reduce, bhakti should increase. Then Vanaprastha means karma became zero and it's all bhakti. Prabhupada somewhere in one purport says that if one lives life like that for 15 to 18 years, one can achieve perfection. That is our direction. That is our goal. That is the path we have to take. But unfortunately today somehow everybody seems to be satisfied with this Bhakti Mishra Karma only. But that's not the top platform. Even being on the top platform, like Prabhupada is saying, 15 to 18 years it takes to come to any meaningful progress, advancement. Now just imagine if there is Bhakti Mishra Karma, how much longer it will take, and maybe we might not even get there. The danger of Bhakti Mishra Karma is karma becomes so predominant that Bhakti starts dwindling. So very, very dangerous. Everyone is situated in his occupational duty. But the purpose of material occupation should not be material gain. This already in the first chapter only, first canto, discussion. Which chapter is that? Yeah, first chapter only, right? Savai paro dharmo. Yato bhakti radokshade ahetuke apratihata atma suprasidati. Dharma svanushtita pumsan vishvaksenu katasu yaha notpadayed yatiratim shamaye vahi kevalam. धर्मस्य ह्यापवर्गस्य नार्थोर्थायोपकल्पते नार्थस्य धर्मैकान्तस्य कामालाभाय ये स्मृतः कामस्य निन्द्रियप्रीतिर्लाभो जीवेत यावत् जीवस्य तत्त्वजिज्ञासा नार्थो यश्चेह कर्मभिः. So this is a few verses on how on occupational duty. So Bhagavatam is saying that Savai Pumsan Parodharma. Paradharma. So there is Vritti Dharma, but there is Paradharma. Superior Dharma is Yato Bhakti Radhokshaje. Bhakti to Krishna. And it should be Ahituki Apratihata. Yay Atma Suprasidati. If the Atma has to be pleased. Happiness means then it should be Ahituki and Apratihata. Without cause and without hindrance, without blockage, without obstacles. Yay Atma Suprasidati. Then then the next verse is saying that the so what is that? Dharmasya yapavargasya narthorthayupakalpate. So dharma svanushthitam samsiddhir haritoshanam. So whatever occupational duty we do, we should do it for the pleasure of the Lord. Then dharma is done not for kama. So whatever occupation we do, it's not for material gain. Labho jiveta yavata. The gain should be only jiveta. Jiveta means self-preservation. Labho jiveta yavata. Jivasya tattva jignasa. What is the goal of life then? Tattva jignasa. Understanding absolute truth. Nartho yascha karma bihi. Not this mm, kama, not this material gain is not the goal of karma. Material gain is not the goal of karma. The goal of karma is just self-preservation, meaning just remaining alive, keeping body and soul together. Why? Jivasya tattva jignasa. So that we can actually do tattva jignasa. That is what Bhagavatam says. Rather, everyone should offer the results of his occupation and activities. Brahmana especially should execute his occupational duties not for material gain, samsiddhir haritoshanam, but to please the Supreme Person of Godhead. So basically just use as much as required for self-preservation, and the rest of it should be engaged in Lord's service. That is the whole idea of vritti dharma. So it's not called vritti. If you just say vritti, occupation, you can do anything you want. But dharma means that it has to be used in the service of Krishna. Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra should work in a similar way. In this material world, everyone is engaged in various professional and occupational duties. But the purpose of such activities should be to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hmm. Devotion service is very simple and anyone can adopt it. Let one remain what he is. He need only install the deity of the Supreme Lord in his house. The deity may be Radha Krishna or Lakshmi Narayana. In this way, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra can worship the deity with results of his honest labor. Of course, I mean, this we already discussed. So, who are within near the temple, they should not install deities at home. Instead, they should use the results of their honest labor to support the activities of the temple. So it is a default expectation that all grihasthas associated with a temple center actually part with um, reasonable amount of their earnings for the service of the Lord. They have to give every month. Actually, there is no need. Actually, nobody should come and ask us. It's the default. We have to understand that if we are not giving, we are just a kripana. We're just a miser. And we're just doing show of bhakti. Because see, unless we have some serious material commitments, which we took even before we came into Krishna consciousness, and then, yeah, money might be going here and there. But otherwise, money should not be wasted any for anything else. Self-preservation. And yeah, like Rupa Goswami said, some for emergency, from for future. And a lot of it should be used in the service of the Lord. Actually, it's very easy. Temples can be run very easily if congregation can just support the activities, and then everybody can then focus on real stuff, which is book preaching, book distribution, this mercy distribution process. Everybody can focus on that. Otherwise, we are all like always, especially those who are running temple centers, they're always concerned about, okay, where will money come? So much expense. Of course, Krishna will send, but still, it is the duty of every grahastha to actually part with his, some part of his earning. Some part meaning not insignificant part. Reasonable. Can't even say significant, reasonable part. And every month, because every month we are getting money, right? Every month it has to be used. Regardless of one's occupation and duty, one should adopt the devotional means of hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping. So please note here, so this karma yoga is different from bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga means Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. Karma yoga means doing karma, using that for Krishna service. So we have to do both. That is why it is called Bhakti Mishra Karma. So in 24 hours, we might do 20 or whatever. Majority of the time, we use 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours for work. And then 2 hours we use for bhakti. So this is Bhakti Mishra Karma. In this way, one can very easily engage himself in the service of the Lord. When the Lord is pleased with one's service, one's mission in life is fulfilled. So the Lord has to be pleased. This is the difficult part. So initially, at least my own realization, initially I used to, I was worrying about how much I'm not able to give much time. Now I'm able to give much time by Krishna's mercy. But uh, pleasing the Lord, uh, everything else is just like some, okay, some activity. Okay, we did something. But pleasing the Lord means that one has to be really pure. One has to be uh, akinchana. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavat akinchana. Akinchana. One has to be desireless. Just the desire. Please the Lord. Then the Lord may be pleased. It is up to him. So when he is pleased, then our life, the mission of life is fulfilled now. When is he going to be pleased? That's up to him. We are nobody to command, demand. Mm. So, yeah, and I've just been contemplating since morning about some of these topics, and then I realized that to be able to please Lord, what does the Lord, what does the Lord want to see in us? What kind of behavior does He want to see in us? Hmm? What kind of behavior should be seen in a devotee, and wherein then we can be pretty sure that the Lord will be pleased. Any answers? Yeah.
Humility.
Okay.
Humble,
Yeah.
humble,
Yeah.
Namrate, Prabhu.
Yeah. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi saishnuna amanina manadena. So this is the verse. This is the key. So unless we are trinadapi, unless we are sunichena sahishnuna manadena, unless we are able to display these qualities, and then and so difficult. See, then it says. Um, mm, Yasya asti bhaktir bhagavatya kinchana sarvair gunes tatra samasate sura. Now, how do we develop these qualities? Even that is difficult. Hmm. So then, yasya asti bhaktir bhagavatya kinchana. So somehow, if we can just develop a desire to serve Krishna without personal motive, that is the key. That is the key, right? And then sincerely we are trying to serve, sincerely, seriously we are trying to do. Then slowly, gradually, all these qualities will develop, and then Krishna will be pleased. So the key is to actually develop these desires, be in the association of devotees who also have same, similar, right? Not wanting material gain, etc. Wanting to dedicate life. Actually, see, this is the very important thing. Actually, it's not about okay, okay. It's about one thing is yeah, okay. We don't have any other desires. We want to just please the Lord, but that has to keep on growing. The desire to please the Lord has to grow. It has to grow on us, and to such an extent that we are like desperate to just finish off our duties and dedicate ourselves to Krishna. And I keep thinking that, if more and more devotees can do that, our movement can really flourish. Right? But unfortunately, devotees get so much entangled in material life that it becomes hard to come out. So, yeah, this should be the focus of our life. We just get rid of all our commitments as quickly as possible and wind down material life. Of course, it's a challenge to be when we are living in society in a city. It's a lot of challenge because then okay, if there are not sufficient savings or how will the expenses of the house be taken care, etc. So yeah, a lot of things are there to be considered, but at least the deep desire should be there, saying that no, no, I don't want to be there. I don't want to be working all my life. I want to dedicate my life to Krishna. And Krishna is merciful. Krishna will for the path. Very nice, actually. Words for Grastas. I really don't know how. Yeah, but somehow, we have to still remain uh, motivated to do our work till we have that responsibilities. I can understand saying repeatedly if you're hearing the same message, what motivation will we have to do work? Motivation is just that we have to do our duty. That's all. Karmanyavadikaraste. So we'll just do. Sincerely, we do our work and sincerely desire also to get out of that, constrained position at the earliest. We should all desire. And it'll happen. Krishna willing, it'll happen. Parityakta guna samyag darshano vishadashayah shantim me samavasthanam brahma kaivalyam ashnute. When the heart is cleansed of all material contamination, devotee's mind becomes broader and transparent, and he can see things equally. Mind becomes broader. Now it's very narrow uh, and full of darkness. We can't see things equally. At that stage of life, there is peace, and one is situated equally with me as Sachidananda Vigraha. And so this is Brahmabhuta. Mayavada conception of Kaivalya. Uh, Kaivalyam Ashnute. Mayavada conception of Kaivalya and that of Vaishnava community is different. Mayavadi thinks that as soon as one is free from all material contamination, is merged into the existence of Supreme. Vaishnava philosopher's conception of Kaivalya is different. He understands both his position and the position of the Supreme Lord. In the uncontaminated condition, the living entity understands that he is the eternal surveyor of the Supreme. And that is called Brahman realization, Brahma Bhuta. So when we understand that we are servants of Krishna, we have come to that is a realization. Of course, coming to that actual stage of it requires little more sadhana. This rapport is very easily achieved. Of being a servant, this rapport is very easily achieved. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, when one is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, is immediately situated on the transcendental platform of Kaivalya or Brahman. Mam cha yovyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityayitan brahmabhoyaya kalpate. So mam cha yo avyabhicharini bhakti. Again, avyabhicharini bhakti. Unflinching, pure devotional service. Avyabhicharini bhakti. Bhakti yogena jo sevate sagunan samatityayitan. Transcends the modes. Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. Brahma Bhuyaya, Kaivalya, Brahma Bhuya. Right? He remains situated, he is immediately situated on the transcendental platform. But we have to come to that stage. Yeah, so heart is cleansed. How is the heart is cleansed? Heart is cleansed just by the process of devotion. Cheto darpanam arjanam mahadavagi nirvapanam. Preya kairava chandrika vitaranam vidyavadu jinavan jivanam. So heart is cleansed of all material contamination. Heart has to get cleansed. And then the devotee's mind becomes broader and transparent. And he can see things broader and transparent. What is the word here? Samyak darshana. Ashaya, Vishada, uncontaminated. Yeah. At that stage, there is peace, and one is situated equally with me. Situated equally meaning this is transcendental position of Brahma Bhuyaya, Brahma Bhuta, Prasannatma. Udasinam ivadhyaksham dravyajnana kriyatmanam Kutastham imamatmanam yo vedan pnoti shobhanam. Anyone who knows that this material body made of five gross elements, sense organs, working senses and mind is simply supervised by the fixed soul is eligible to be liberated from material bondage. Simply supervised by the soul. So we are not this body. We are just supervising this body. He is eligible for liberation. So it's such a powerful word. Just look at the supervision. Supervision means outside the examiner is supervising the exam, meaning he is not writing the exam. Other people are writing the exam, he is just supervising, he is just seeing. So this body is there, the things happening to the body, we have to just supervise. This verse describes how one can become liberated. First point is that one must know that the soul is different from the body. Soul is called Dehi, or one who possesses the body. And the material body is called Deha. The body is changing at every moment, but the soul is fixed. Therefore, the soul is called Kutastham. The change of body is enacted by the reactions of the three modes of nature. One who has understood the fixed position of the soul should not be disturbed by the incoming and outgoing interactions of the modes of material nature in the form of happiness and distress. Oh, this one single statement, I think, is sadhana for all our life, whole life. Majority of our life we will spend to just come to this realization that we are soul, we are not the body, so we should not be affected by happiness and distress. Prabhupada says that one should become careless. Careless. One should just stop bothering, stop worrying about this happiness and distress of this material body. So difficult. Bhagavad Gita also, Lord Krishna recommends that since happiness and distress come and go due to interaction of the modes, one should not be disturbed by such external events. So actually, Krishna's instruction in Bhagavad Gita, since you are the Atma, don't even be bothered. Okay, you're not come to that stage where you cannot be bothered, as in you don't even care for it. But yeah, okay, no, I care for it. Okay, then tolerate. When you come to the stage of understanding that you are not the body, then you will not even bother. But till then, tolerate. Even though one is sometimes absorbed in such external movements, he has to learn to tolerate. The living entity should always be indifferent. See, same statements, Bhagavad Gita. First tolerate, then you become indifferent. Hmm. So two stages. First stage, we're not indifferent. We're very much concerned. So we have to tolerate somehow. Then we become indifferent. Like, this is not me at all. This is just my useless body which is troubling. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, the body made of gross physical elements and subtle elements is completely different from the soul proper. One should therefore not be disturbed by the action and reaction of these elements. The practical process to attain this stage of indifference is to execute devotional service. How do we, so the question, how do we achieve this? Devotional service. How? Only one who constantly engages. 24 hours a day. Can be indifferent to the action and reaction of the external body. Look at this. Prabhupada is giving solution. That's the reason why we have to read Prabhupada's purports. Just since morning I've been thinking about these things, and now Prabhupada is answering in his purport saying that 24 hours constantly engages. He can be indifferent. When a man is absorbed in a particular thought, he does not hear or see any external activities. This is this 24 hours. 24 hours means absorption. If you are simply engaged 24 hours without absorption, then there's no use. And when there is absorption, when man is absorbed in a particular thought, he does not hear or see any external activities, even though they're enacted in his presence. This we know, right? If you're absorbed in some thought and somebody is calling us, we don't even we can't figure out. I mean, we didn't hear. So when one is engaged 24 hours a day in bhakti, completely absorbed, then he is not externally conscious to even note what is happening to his body, action, reaction of the external body. Similarly, those who are fully absorbed in devotional service do not care what is going on with the external body. Very high, exalted state. State is called samadhi. One is actually situated in samadhi, is understood to be a first class yogi. This stage of samadhi, fully absorbed. So fully absorbed that he does not care, he doesn't even notice that something like this happening. Bhagavad Gita verse is spoken about yogi in dhyana yoga. One who just engages in eating, evacuating, etc. Like just it's like a machine. It's just going on. But the Atma, the devotee, is not too bothered, not too affected. Just does not care, indifferent. How do we get to this stage? By full absorption in Krishna consciousness. Developing attachment to Krishna. And this attachment to Krishna is very, very important. We have to develop attachment to Krishna. Then we'll become fully absorbed in serving him in love. Only then this is possible. Okay, very heavy verses. Okay, let's see if we have time for one more. Okay, maybe one more. भिन्नस्य लिङ्गस्य गुणप्रवाहो द्रव्यक्रियाकारकचेतनात्मनः दृष्टासु सम्पत्सु विपत्सु सूरयो विक्रियन्ते मयि बद्धसौहृदाः. Lord Vishnu told King Prthu, my dear king, the constant change of this material world is due to the interaction of the three modes, the five elements, the senses, demigods who control the senses, as well as the mind, which is agitated by the spirit soul. All these taken together comprise the body. Chetana Atmanaha Drishtasu. Why Prabhupada is saying that agitated by the spirit soul. Okay, let's see the purport. Since the spirit soul is completely different from from this combination of gross and subtle material elements, my devotee who is connected with me in intense friendship. Baddha Sauradaha. This is the important thing. See, intense friendship and affection, being completely in knowledge, is never agitated by material happiness. So this is the stage. Intense friendship and affection. Question may be raised that if the living entity has to act as the superintendent of activities, supervisor, then how can he be indifferent to the activities? Answer is given here. These activities are completely different from the activities of soul. Crude example can be given. A businessman riding in a motor car sits in the car, supervises his running, and advises the driver. He knows how much gasoline is used up. He knows everything about the car, but still is apart from the car and is more concerned with his business. Even while riding in the car, he thinks of his business and his office. He has no connection with the car, although he's sitting there. Amazing realization, amazing example. As the businessman is always absorbed in thoughts of his business, so the living entity can be absorbed in thoughts of rendering loving service to the Lord. Of course, now if the car breaks down, then yeah, something will have to be done to get it fixed. But then the absorption has to be in the business, not in the car. Then it will be possible to remain separate from the activities of the material body. This position neutrality can be possible only for a devotee. So we have to be, our thoughts have to be absorbed in rendering loving service. The word Baddha Sauradaha, bound in friendship, is particularly used here. Karmis, Gnanis, and Yogis cannot be bound in devotional service. Karmis fully engage in the activities of the body. The aim of life is to give comfort to the body only. What a waste. Hiranyakashipu. Giving comfort to the body only. This is Hiranyakashipu. Gnanis try to get out of entanglement by physical philosophical speculation, but they have no standing in the liberated position. Use them, it fall down. Because they do not take shelter under the lotus feet of the Lord, they fall down from the exalted position of Brahman realization. Yogis also have a bodily concept of life. They think that they can achieve something spiritual by exercising the body through dharana, asana, pranayama, etc. And of course, they are behind siddhis, so useless. A devotee's position is always transcendental because of his intimate relationship. So, in no other process, there is baddha sauradaha. There is this intimate friendship, intimate affection. Intense friendship and affection is not there. So, it's useless. Therefore, to remain always aloof from the actions and reactions of the body and engage in one's real occupation. See, real occupation. There's occupation, there's real occupation. Real occupation is ahitukya pratyahata, bhakti radhokshaje, rendering service to the Lord. Can be possible only for devotees. So we have to note that we should remain in the category of devotees. We should not become karmis, gnanis, yogis. That is why we have to be on the platform of akinchana bhakti, pure bhakti. Then only we can think of all these things. Intense. Just look at this word. This word only is scary. Friendship and affection only is far from for us right now. Intense affection, intense friendship. Only then we will remain not agitated by material happiness and distress. So the only solution is just Bhagavit Akinchana, sincere, serious devotional service. That's the solution. Nothing else to be done. As long as we do this, then we will come to this. Yeah, just imagine, one day in this life when we are in severe distress, but we just don't bother. We're indifferent. Yeah, and that severe distress state, if it is not any other stage in our life, will definitely death is that severe distress time stage. Right, and yeah, and if you reach that Brahman platform, then yeah, not agitated. We just think about Krishna and leave the body. And we should work towards this. At least try. Of course, it's not in our hands, but Krishna's causeless mercy. But we should put our effort. Okay, we stop here. If there are any questions, comments? Anybody? Yeah, Vamshi.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
My question is not related to today's class, but I just wanted to check with you. Uh, I think in yearly once, we get to see Radharani's lotus feet,
No,
right?
no, no. It was not a practice before. It's become a practice
Okay,
now. I don't know why. Yeah.
understood. Because I was just trying to connect the dots of that was a day of Gopashtami. And
Mm.
what is the relevance of this? And
Okay.
it is
Anyway, we'll
only
discuss
yearly
that
once.
later. It's not connected to the class. And
Okay.
anyway, it was not a practice before. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Anything connected to the class, please.
Okay.
Anything connected to the class, because it was very important. I don't want to get distracted. Yeah, Shashank Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
Pranam, pranam.
Pranam.
Prabhu, this question is related to 24 hours
Yeah.
absorption in devotional service.
Yeah.
So we have started initially devotional service. So sometimes we will loop out from it, Prabhu. Sometimes, even though we are concerned, sometimes we'll, for instance, we'll get out from it. So how to stay connected, like always?
Mm.
Because here it has been mentioned as absorbed, like
Yeah.
no effect
So
is there.
yeah. Yeah. So okay. So we have to. So we have to understand this. See, first thing is, first there are two parts here. The first there is 24 hours, then there is absorption, right? First thing to be concerned about is number of hours, right? So our occupational duty should be such that it's taking care of our requirements and at the same time giving us time, mm, giving us time for bhakti. Otherwise, it is pratikula. It's not favorable. Okay. Um, but then we have to balance both. We have some financial requirement at the same time we have to figure out. We have to we need to have time. So we have to just mm, beg for mercy, right? So those devotees who are able to do that, get money and at the same get enough money as much as is required. Not like enough money, but yeah. But at the same time, they're getting time to practice Krishna consciousness. They're very fortunate. So our goal should be, yeah, 2 hours bhakti means only 2 hours we are trying to get absorbed. Then yeah, 3 hours, 3.5 hours, etc. If we come to the stage of 6 hours, 6 to 7 hours, that means that we are now reached a stage where we can possibly cut off from our work, meaning we have reached that level of absorption. And by that time, Krishna would have taken care of other things. Mm. Mm. So then only first is then we have to think about six to bringing that 6 hours to 24 hours. And as we bring it to 24 hours, gradually the absorption will increase automatically because there's nothing else you're doing. You're just always thinking about Krishna and Krishna service. So the absorption will increase. Of course, then there are few things to be considered. Like for example, we might still remain in Rajoguna, meaning we're just running around here and there. And but yeah, we have to also come to Satvaguna. And then we also have to be, yeah, we have to be in so much Satvaguna that we can also, our chanting is good. Then, we are able to make overall progress. So there should be Leela Smaranam, there should be Nam Smaranam. So all these various things have to happen when we make progress in bhakti. So then absorption will be fixed. Higher taste is experience, etc. But yeah, so first goal should be to increase number of hours of bhakti. That should be the first goal. And of course, then as Grahastha ashram progresses, as we age, like I keep saying 45, 50, 55, maybe 60 maximum, maybe because we are not planned properly or we didn't get married on time, etc., etc. Maybe 55 to 60 years we should get out. Right. And as we go towards this 60, this 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, the number of hours of bhakti has to increase. And then only really subsequently when absorption can actually, I mean, we can really seriously think about absorption. As of now, the absorption should be maybe, just those activities that I'm doing, can I remain absorbed? Because as soon as we get into some work, office, etc., then yeah, we get disconnected, right? I mean, we can't be sitting and doing our work and still thinking about Krishna. That's not possible. That's not humanly possible. Uh, that can be possible. That is possible only when one is in love of Krishna. But yeah, it's a very exalted stage. Is that okay, Shashank Prabhu?
Yeah, Prabhu. Thanks, Prabhu. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Anything else? Yeah, at the end of the day, it has to be full absorption in Krishna because that's the only Yayatma Suprasidati. That's the only way we can be happy. Mm. No sochati na kankshati. No, not affected by distress, not affected by happiness, not lamenting, not hankering. Mm. Suprasidati, just pleased, happy, happy state. There's no other way. Okay, so we'll conclude here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpatarupeshcha kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.